J.P. Shadrick.
You got that right. And this time it is for a wild card playoff game this Saturday. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. It is Monday. The Jaguars are AFC South champions. We've got plenty to attend to in the next 2 hours. Tony Boselli, you might have heard of him. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He'll join us, of course. Pete Prisco, CBS Sports senior writer. He'll be with us shortly. AFC South champs for the second time, the fourth division title in Jaguars history. And the Jaguars will host an AFC wildcard playoff game Saturday, 8:15 against the LA Chargers. We have plenty of Fanatics fan questions tonight as well, and a playoff preview around the corner. Doug Peterson spoke with the media today, where the Jaguars have won so many different ways down the stretch of this season, but for the head coach, whatever it takes.
A win's a win's a win. It's hard to win in this league, and I don't care how you do it. Bottom line is you got to try to figure out a way. And sometimes you're going to score 40, sometimes you're going to score 20, or 10. And, sometimes the offense is hot and sometimes they're not. Defense is smoking, or special teams, whoever it might be. And that was the type of game it was, this past Saturday. I mean, that's a good football team, that we played. And look, they were playing for the same things we were playing for, and that was a win and in scenario. Wasn't our best offensively, we know that, but it was one of our best games defensively and on special teams. So that's just how football seasons go. That's how teams go, and this time of year, it really doesn't matter as long as you figure out a way, to win that game.
Win the game. They certainly did it. They won the AFC South Division title, and now it's on to the postseason. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence after the game Saturday night, finishing an all-time rally for the Jaguars to get to the division crown.
Just the excitement that obviously, I had and still have right now, and coach, and just how this year's gone, and the ups and downs, and just the belief that we've had the whole time is, you kind of saw it all come together today. And even just how we had to win the game is, wasn't always pretty, but just found a way to win. And, just told him I loved him. I'm appreciative of him, just what he's done for this place. Obviously, takes more than just a coach, but what he's been able to do for this organization has been incredible, and just excited for the future. And we get another opportunity to play next week. I know that's all that means, is we get to play again next week. And there's not many teams that get to say that at this point. So, I guess after tomorrow night at that point, but so just excited. These guys, we earned it. It was a tough year as far as just having to climb out of that hole we dug ourselves, and it was awesome.
Now to the Jaguars defense. They allowed 3 points in the second half, and of course had the big play at the end. It's been a big play defense down the stretch, and Rayshon Jenkins has had a hand in that. 2 picks against the Cowboys, including a game-winning interception return for a touchdown in overtime of that game. And then Saturday night, the play of the game, the sack fumble. These are not a surprise to Rayshon.
I envision it, man. That's stuff I just think about all the time. I always dream about making big plays, especially when my number is called. Especially if my coaches have the trust to call my number on a play, I take that very personal. So I would say I'm having a good season, man. And but that's what you're supposed to do when you get brought into a team and supposed to change the culture. You got to be one of those guys, especially if you come in. If they went to go handpick you, you have to be one of the guys that help change the culture.
More coming up, including more comments from head coach Doug Peterson, and yes, locker room sound, the celebration after a Jaguars win. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jags social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube on this Monday. Tony Boselli and Pete Prisco are with us now, and the Jaguars are the AFC South champions. They will host the Chargers in a wild card playoff game, and Tony locked it so many weeks ago, and it came true. Congrats.
That drives Pete crazy that I locked it and it worked.
Because you didn't really believe it. There's no way you believe it. No, you didn't. You did it for clicks and hits and people's talking about you, because that's who you are.
That's not who I am. I believed it. This team was playing good football. And if you look at the 5-game losing streak, I could argue that they should have won every one of those games. But even if they just win 3 of them, they'd have been the best team by far in the AFC. And that coupled with the injuries that the Titans and the way they were playing, I felt like this, the Jags, if they could run the table, they ended up not having to run the table. They did lose the one to Detroit that I thought might hurt them. But I did believe that this team was good enough to make the playoffs.
Did you just say they would have been the best team in the AFC?
AFC South.
Okay. Because I know you've gotten carried away over here recently, so I didn't know where you were going with that. But it sure sounded like you said best team in the AFC. Did he not, JP?
No, he said it, but
AFC South.
Okay.
I meant AFC South. That's what I meant.
Okay. And they probably would have been a higher seed if they won a couple of those games.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it works out how it works out. I don't think. I mean, if you take a step back and you look at the top 3 seeds, I don't know if you ever surpass them. Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Kansas City. They are the class right now of the AFC, and that's what we have to go. We have to go beat those type of teams. We have to make it. Now you have to make a run in the playoffs where you get the credibility that you're considered one of those teams, and you have to do it more than one year at the same time. So I think if you look at the AFC playoffs right now, I think it's the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals, and then there's a gap between everyone else. I think everyone else is trying to fight their way into that top 3, and this is a great opportunity for the Jaguars to do something.
You know what? Jacksonville is not unlike the Bengals a year ago. If that's maybe you can get hot and get a run. And now the Bengals are around now, and they're going to be around now. And I've said that before. I said Jacksonville's going to be around for a long time now with Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback. So maybe this can be their year to put themselves on the map and go upset somebody. Go on the road and do that. Win this week and then go upset somebody, and then all of a sudden people start talking about you like the Bengals are now. I think that's the big task right now. Look, every year somebody comes from nowhere. Every year, it's too easy to say that both conferences look very top heavy. You look at the NFC, it's the 49ers, the Eagles, and who? It's for those two. And this is 3 teams. And so, but don't you think somebody's going to find a way to get hot and make a little run? Somebody. That's
what usually happens, Pete. It very rarely goes chalk, where you have the 1 and 2 seeds in both conferences in the title games. And last year, you said it right. It was the Cincinnati Bengals. The year before that, it was Tampa Bay, who made a run and from the wild card and ended up winning the whole thing. So it's right there for them. I mean, you always say, and this is what's been said about the NFL playoffs for years and years and years, just get into the tournament, because then it's the hottest team. It's the team that's playing the best. It's the hottest quarterback or a defense that gets on a run and starts doing stuff that's special. And you don't get to have that opportunity unless you win your division or get one of those wild card spots. The Jags won the division. They're going to have a home playoff game. And now it's a new season. Nothing matters. The records, none of it matters. And it's win or go home type of scenario. And that is a great opportunity for a team like the Jags, because they should be playing, pressure free. Like, hey, this is like, we're in this thing. We're not here. We're not just happy to be here. We're here to win the whole thing. And let's let it go hang out and see what we can do.
And this is a showcase game, guys, of course, because of the young quarterbacks up and coming. Justin Herbert in year 3, Trevor Lawrence in year 2. It is a primetime playoff game Saturday night, 8:15 kickoff on NBC and Paramount Plus, and that is a prime spot. It's the first home primetime playoff game in Jaguars history, only the 5th game in Jacksonville in the playoffs ever, and it's a big spotlight, Pete, but for good reason. This is what's to be expected.
We were wrong about that, by the way. I was wrong. I thought they would definitely be, and so did you, Tony. You thought they'd be in the early game window, and they decided not to put them there, which shocked me a little bit. But I think, what happens if Green Bay would have won and got in? Would they have put Jackson?
Yes. If
they would have flipped those.
I'm convinced if Green Bay would have won, Green Bay would have been Green Bay would have played the Niners, right, on Monday night, Tampa, Dallas on Sunday night, and probably Cincinnati, Baltimore on Saturday night.
Or what they might have done, if it was Green Bay and San Francisco, they would have flipped them to the night and then put Jacksonville on the early game. They could put them Saturday night. Yeah, there's no doubt. If Green Bay won, they were playing a night game, and Jacksonville was probably going to play the early game on Saturday. So they did win. They put them in the window, and hey, that's good for Jacksonville. That place you guys were there. It sounded like it was rocking, like it hadn't rocked in a long time.
It was, Pete. It was a amazing crowd. It reminded me of Remember the Monday night game against Miami when that place was just
Yes.
that was the night feel that it had.
And then they get to do it all over again. I mean, that's the thing. And they get a little bit of a break. The Chargers played the win last week on Sunday, which was strange, by the way. Mike Williams hurt his back, which was a bad situation. And now they got to travel all the way across. They got to leave on Friday. So they got a short week. It's not a good week for the Chargers. Big advantage for Jacksonville from that standpoint.
Well, actually, I think they'll have to lose Thursday, Pete. Usually the West Coast teams will leave Thursday night because you lose all that time traveling.
That's right. That's right. I'm thinking Friday. Yeah, Friday
Yep.
Usually, yeah.
Wow. So take advantage of it. The crowd was, and it started. I got over the bridge, guys, at like 2:00, and I look over. There's already cars parked and tailgating, and this is 6 hours before the game. It looked like they had been there for a minute already. So by the time 6:00 rolls around, and then it's 2 hours before the lots are packed. There's people everywhere. There's tailgating. Grill smoke all over the place. I mean, it is a scene outside, and then that all just transferred to kickoff time. It was awesome all day.
You know what though, JP? It got quiet in there for a while. Before that big play on defense, they were all sitting there. I know what they were thinking. Here they go again. Everybody in that place was thinking it because it sounded really quiet for a little period of time there.
Well, Pete, the Titans were 2 first downs away from icing it.
Right. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true.
that's all he needed was get a couple first downs and the game was over. But, I mean, that was a great play by Rayshon Jenkins. And it was close, by the way. It was close. I mean, it was a fumble, but it was close.
It was an open hand.
He definitely did not control the ball when the ball started coming forward. And that's all that needs to happen.
But it worked out. The Jaguars got a big play on defense when they needed it inside 3 minutes to go, fourth quarter, and won the game 20-16. We've got plenty ahead. We're going to get the offense back on track when we come back and see what Trevor Lawrence is about. We'll hear from the quarterback after the game and see what the Jags can do against the Chargers moving ahead. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. Second hour, we'll have your social media questions. We'll keep it real. Plenty ahead. We're off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
It's football season, and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 45 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Life's better with a financial partner like Ameris Bank. From opening your first savings account to funding your kids' college tuition, we're with you.
From a flash of a business idea to growing that company just as fast.
We're with you.
From buying a home to tackling the renovations to make it truly yours.
We're with you. You have big plans.
Financial questions.
And decisions to make.
And for every idea, life goal, and new venture, we're with you all the way. Visit amerisbank.com/withyou to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty. Offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Hi, I'm Chef Justin Timoneri, Florida's culinary ambassador. If you've enjoyed preparing fresh from Florida recipes, then you're going to love the Fresh from Florida Club. As a member, you'll be able to search and save delicious recipes, create custom menus, and ask me your cooking questions. Each month, you'll also get a list of what's in season, so you can make your family the freshest meals possible. It's free and easy to sign up. And best of all, you'll be supporting Florida's farmers, ranchers, and fishermen. Join the club at followfreshfromflorida.com today.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm excited just, for this team to get that opportunity to continue to show who we are and just, like I said, just to get a chance to play again. The field gets whittled down next week and get a shot to play. Whoever it is, it's going to be a good team coming in here. So just excited for that. And, like you said, played in big games. And so it'll be a good challenge for us. But I'm really excited just to get another opportunity. And, we got a lot of stuff, like I said, to clean up. And definitely didn't play anywhere close to our best ball, especially offensively tonight. So I'm excited to kind of, watch the tape and get back to it and clean up some things.
Of course, Trevor Lawrence after the game Saturday night. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday after a Jaguars win over the Titans for the AFC South title and the number 4 seed in the AFC playoffs. The Jaguars will host the LA Chargers in the AFC wildcard playoff game coming up Saturday at 8:15 at TIAA Bank Field. And for 9 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory and go Jags. Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli, and yes, Trevor Lawrence in the game on Saturday, 20 of 32, 212 through the air, had a touchdown, rating over 92, and his numbers for the season, well, he finished 7th in the league in attempts and completions this year, 9th in passing yards, 9th in rating, 8th in passing touchdowns. And he's now the 3rd Jaguars quarterback to go over 4,000 yards in a single season. So, but the last few weeks, the Jets game, weather was certainly an issue. The Houston game was what it was. And then this past week, maybe left a few things out there. The offense had some issues as a whole. How do they get back on track this week, guys? And how does Trevor especially get back to form?
He didn't look good, but I don't think the offensive line played very well either. I thought they struggled a little bit. Here's the other thing: they didn't win as much in the passing game as I thought they would against that defense. I thought they had opportunities to beat those guys, and they didn't. They beat, Kirk beat the one guy the one time, but they didn't do enough of that. And Trevor was a little off. He moved away from some pockets that were clean, which stuff he was doing earlier in the year. It just wasn't a good performance by the offense.
Well, the only thing I would add, Pete, is a couple things. One is they couldn't run the ball at all. And so that makes it difficult. When you don't have to run the ball all the time, but you have to at least have the threat of run, and they couldn't get an inch. And that was an issue. And I think that got them out of a rhythm. Second, if the offensive line they were good at times, but other times, especially in the second half, they kind of started falling apart a little bit. And there were a couple throws that Trevor's been hitting that he just flat missed that would have been touchdowns, and that's not a close game. Probably, it's a 2-possession game going in the fourth quarter. Zay Jones.
That was bad. That was a bad miss. Really a bad miss.
And then the other one is the Christian Kirk, who has 2 steps on. I think it was Fulton, and he completely underthrew it.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out. Was he worried about laying it out a little bit because of the safety?
No,
he had pressure, right?
If you look at the replay, he got hit right in the mouth as he was throwing it.
Yeah, it just wasn't a smooth perforance. I thought Brandon Sheriff had a bad day. I thought he
had a tough day. Those are 2 good. They're good defense tackles, but that was probably his worst game.
Yeah, he wasn't good, and I think that led to some problems. Fortner had some issues as well. You know who didn't play a pretty good game? Walker Little was okay.
Yeah, I thought they were fine at the tackle position.
Yeah. The inside gave him some pressure, and I think that started getting into his head a little bit, and he started speeding himself up a little bit. I thought it wasn't even as like he threw a ball into one of those passes he threw into the Marvin Jones shot was the best one of the night, the one in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that
was the best shot of the night. But he threw another one into the middle of the field that I thought he completed it, but it didn't look clean and crisp. You know, it was early in the game. It just didn't look like it was the same guy ripping it, and so I think he was just a little off. And I bet if you asked him, he would have said that there was some potential jittery kind of stuff there, because he even talked about that in some interview he did with Jeff Darlington of ESPN, how his confidence waned at points during the early part of the season. He had to get that back. He didn't look like he had his confidence on against the Titans.
Yeah, I think I disagree with you there, Pete. I thought he was confident. I just thought he missed a couple throws. And that coupled with 0-1 game and the offensive line's kind of struggling at times, it makes it hard. It makes it hard to play offense.
Like this, he's retreating, and this throw, it's an amazing throw, but the guy was open on the crossing route when he's in the pocket on that play. You saw it. Kirk was open on the crosser, and he retreats to his left and makes it a much more difficult throw. That's the kind of little things that he was doing. And by the way, it didn't help him that he went 7 of 8 on a drive, and they decided to pull out the old trickaroo book.
Oh, here we go with the one play per game. The Pete hate play.
We knew. As soon as they did it, I said it on the air. I'm like, I don't like that play at all.
I mean, as soon as the play happened, I looked at Twitter and I had 15 tweets from Jaguar fans going, "There's Pete's play. Pete, there's your play. There's your play." And I'm like, what in the hell are they doing? And Tony, you watched the tape, I'm sure, right?
I haven't yet. I had to travel.
Okay, that play was either going to do one of two things. If it's run successfully, he walks in for a touchdown, or the defensive end blows him up for a 7-yard loss. There's no in between. There was no in between.
I think if it's a successful pitch, I think it's a touchdown.
Well, they blocked it. It was blocked up to a touchdown, other than the defensive end, who he would have had to make.
There's no chance he was getting that.
I don't know. The defensive end's bearing down on it a little bit, but it's here nor there. It's still a bad play. The guy wasn't Trevor Lawrence 7 of 8 on that drive before that.
No, they were dicing him up.
Yeah. Why stop?
I didn't like it either, Pete. I have no answer.
It's our weekly visit to Philly specialitis. And he guy's such a good play caller. Why does he has to start overruling himself? You know, he's got to, you know how like, yeah, the good guy over here and the bad guy over here in life, do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it. He's got to have the good guy on the other side saying to himself, don't do it, Doug, don't do it, just play football. They should let me have like input into his ear. Don't do it. Do not do it. No Philly specialitis today, Doug. And I sent that out on Sunday. And I sent a tweet out saying what a great play. After watching the tape, he's such a great play caller, but every game there's one. And the Eagle fans went nuts on me. They just went nuts on me.
How?
Agreeing or disagreeing?
No, because that play won a Super Bowl. And they didn't get what I meant by it is that it's become a thing with him.
Yeah,
you didn't like the play. Tony didn't like the play. JP, you'll be lying if you said you liked the play.
Yeah, he was actually perfect on the drive. He had not missed a pass.
Yeah, I mean, why stop it? Go. You guys hot as can be. And in my mind, I think if they keep going there and score a touchdown with him ripping it, he's gonna continue to do that. There's gonna be no problem the rest of the way.
No, I'm with you, Pete. I thought there was like 3 or 4 plays that made that a close game where it could have easily gone the other way for the Jags. You know, the Zay Jones, the Philly, the trick play fumble, and then missing Kirk when he's got a couple steps. And you're right. I don't think Trevor lost any confidence in that game at all. I just don't think he was at his top level. I do think he missed a cross or two here or there. I saw a couple misses. But some of that's also due to the fact that they were getting pressure right in his face. And when you get pressure in your face, it's hard to play quarterback.
A question.
Yeah.
Jaguars had issues in the running game. Obviously, you guys mentioned that. It's a really good run defense in Tennessee, but the Chargers, at least in the regular season, did not rate very well in that department. Can ETN get it
They're
going
terrible
this week?
Yes, they better, because
They have to run the ball. If they don't run the ball and those two guys pin their ears back and go, you got big problems.
Yep, they got two good pass rushers. They're not good against the run. This is a game where you need 150-plus rushing yards, and you should give it. I mean, they give up an average 145.
Yeah, they're bad. It doesn't matter what they do. They replace guys. They sign free agents. They draft linebackers. They still can't stop the run. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
They just can't stop the run. And, Tony, I thought the one run where ETN tripped, he was going to rip that for a long one. That was a long gain. Remember when he tripped, he got the first down because he kind of lunged forward a little bit. They blocked that one well, and he should have.
This is what I wonder if it was nerves, because if you look at the first third down, Zay Jones easily gets it if he doesn't get his feet kind of stumbling and bumbling. And you're right, ETN on that first run, outside run, I'm not saying it's a house call, but it's a 20-plus yard run. It was almost like their brains were moving faster than their feet. That happens sometimes when you got a bunch of excitement, anxiety, and emotion in a big game like that. And I felt like they, probably needed to settle down a little bit, but then they just never got a rhythm.
No, it looked disjointed the whole game, and other than when he went 7 for 7 on the one drive and they took him out of the rhythm. I mean, hey JP, did they get a first down in the second half?
The Jaguars offense. Let's see here. Let's go through it.
Yeah,
they did.
Wasn't many though. There weren't many though.
They did.
Well, remember they got a field goal.
Right, but there weren't many though.
Opening drive, they had a 12-play
There weren't any in
drive.
the fourth quarter, I don't think.
Then they had, in the third quarter, they had another first down,
No,
and then they punted.
in the fourth quarter, they didn't have any, I don't think.
Okay, well, you didn't say that. You said the second half.
Okay, but
so
I was
starting in the third quarter. I can only go one drive at a time, Pete. What do you want me to do? Like, just go through the whole thing and not got to go through it all? Fourth quarter, 3 and out. Punt return or a fumble return, and then ball game. Neal.
Yeah, no first downs in the fourth quarter. That's bad. You got to get first down.
But defense was doing the same thing, right? I mean, defense was doing the same thing at that same time, so it wasn't like they were giving up points and losing ground.
Yeah, but you're playing a third-team quarterback off the street, and you got Trevor Lawrence. There's a big difference there. I mean, come on, let's be real. No, you got to be better on offense. If you play like that on offense against the Chargers, you're losing.
No, I agree with that, Pete. But let's give Mike Vrabel some credit, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a good game plan. They executed it. I mean, defensively, they were outstanding. They made adjustments from the first game. They did exactly what they had to do, make it a grinded-out game, get some stops on defense, try to get the lead, keep it one possession so that they didn't have to put any pressure on Josh Dobbs. I mean, I thought they did a great job.
What did you think of what they did differently in that game on defense? They took away the middle a little bit with Ingram for sure.
Yeah, I thought there was definitely a focus on Ingram in the middle of the field, and I can't tell you because I didn't watch the tape really closely to tell you exactly what they did differently.
They played their zones a lot. They played their zones a lot better. I know that much and I don't think Jacksonville did a great job. Tony, when you tell receivers sit down, they didn't do a great job of sitting down. At least early in that game, I didn't think.
I thought in general there's off offensively. They just did not seem in a rhythm.
No, that can't. It can't happen against the Chargers. You're going home. That's my theory on it.
All right, let's come back in a moment. Jaguars defense got it done in the second half against Tennessee. We'll break some of their play down and what to expect against Justin Herbert and the playmakers of the Chargers. Jaguars playoff tickets for the AFC wildcard playoff game are available. Limited tickets and standing room at last check are available, but going extremely fast, as you might imagine. Visit Jaguars.com or call 904-633-2000. And good luck, by the way. Should be a great scene and a sold-out crowd again this Saturday night for the wildcard playoff game between the Chargers and the Jags. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bono's is currently expanding its brand with franchise opportunities throughout the Southeast and beyond. Over 70 years of authentic Southern pit barbecue and owning your own business are a great combo. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
It's time for sunshine and summer showers, so it's more important than ever to make sure you call Crystal Clean for all your waterproofing needs. Waterproofing can extend the life of your building by keeping water outside where it belongs. And that Florida sun can beat up your business's paint job. Crystal Clean's painting services can bring your building back to life. From waterproofing to painting, schedule Crystal Clean today. Call 904-220-3337 or go to crystalclean.com. You don't have to worry when it's crystal clean.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the kinetical difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
I think we kind of knew back, like, to be real, like, I think kind of back in training camp, we kind of had this, you know, this type of swag, this type of aura that we was going to make it far. And, you know, we knew those 5 games, that 5-game stretch that we had, we had to find a way to win. And I think we weren't finding those ways to win at that moment. I think they were learning lessons. Like I said, man, when you lose, you find opportunities. And, you know, when we put back in that situation again, we capitalized. So we won it in overtime. You know, we 17 down, 10 down, you know, kept a lead, blowout. So it's like you got to find a way to win. And right now we finding multiple ways to win. And by the end of the day, we just got to get the job done.
That's Josh Allen, Jaguars outside linebacker, 4th year, and he has been a man possessed the last 5 games. 20 tackles, 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits, 2 forced fumbles in that time, and, of course, 2 fumble recoveries, and the one, of course, the game winner against the Tennessee Titans. He had 6 sacks total for the season, half of those in the final month plus. Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, and Tony Boselli. The Jaguars are AFC South champions. They will host an AFC wildcard playoff game Saturday night, 8:15 kickoff time against the Los Angeles Chargers. And Josh Allen turned it around. I mean, middle of the season, the stats just weren't there. He was getting close, but not quite getting home. But, Pete, the last month plus, we talk about this the last few weeks, but his impact was felt near the end of that game on Saturday night.
Oh, no, it was felt all game. Yeah, he's back to being the guy we thought we would see all year. He was outstanding on Saturday night, and again, he's a really good football player, and I think his numbers are starting to show that he's back, because he was doing some good things. It wasn't like he was awful early in the season, but this is the guy we expected to see, the one we've seen the last couple of weeks, and I was impressed with what we saw from him. And the defense as a whole was outstanding, but Josh Allen was probably the best guy on the field the other night.
Well, Pete, I think it was also, if you look at this year, it's like a 7 to 9 game stretch where he was not bad, to your point, but just not impactful. Like, okay, nice player, but nothing that you would say, hey, he's a game changer and, he impacts the game in a big way. Last 4 weeks, that's changed. That's flipped. And he's been super impactful, and he's going to have to be that guy, especially this week against the Los Angeles Chargers when you have a guy like Herbert sitting back there. You can't let him be comfortable. And so, you got to get pushing on the interior, obviously, but Josh Allen's going to need to have a big game. And I thought Trayvon Walker played well.
I agree.
He was super disruptive in the run game. He is so big and physical that they could not handle him with a tight end. And he had some decent rushes, nothing great, but decent rushes.
That was one of his better games.
Yeah, I thought he played very well. He was impactful.
And he had a tackle for loss.
Josh Allen, the last 4 weeks, we're worried about the playoffs right now, but at some point we'll talk about this offseason. He's going to his 5th year. Do you let him just play out that 5th year, or do you try to sign him to a long-term deal right now? It'll be interesting after the last 4 weeks, and if they make a playoff run, let's say they go win,
well, they'd have to win and probably beat Kansas City next week. So if he went in and had 2 sacks against Mahomes and they won that game, then you're sitting there saying, maybe we need to pay him, or he gets like a couple sacks of Herbert. Yeah. This is a money run for him. I mean, kudos to him. It's happening at the right time. People are watching him. So I think you have to find a way to keep him.
You don't have to. I mean, you can keep under the 5th year. You can make
a play next year, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would not show up for camp.
No, he's the type of guy you need on your team.
Right.
He's a great locker room guy. He practices hard. It's important. I'm convinced he was playing through injury.
I tend to agree with you, because this guy that we're seeing now is not the guy we saw early in the season.
And he wants to be here, Pete. He wants to be in Jacksonville. Like, you need to keep guys who want to be here.
I think they'll find a way to keep him, and I think they would extend him eventually, because you'd like to keep him around. Walker played much better. Arden Key continues to make plays, man. He's a good football player. That's a good guy to have in your rotation. And I think Hamilton has played really well down the stretch. And Corey Peters made some plays the other night.
He had 7 tackles in the game, guys.
He was all over the place. I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, remember I mentioned him last week, and you kind of poo-pooed it.
Yeah, I did.
You did. I said he's been playing pretty good football. I mean, they picked him up, and he's been a good addition. They're, all of a sudden you look at that front, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're physical. Roy Robertson-Harris didn't have the kind of game I thought he would have. He wasn't as good as he's been. The linebackers, you're still getting those mistakes here and there. And Muma made a play in the backfield. That was a hell of a play, but he has to make that tackle in the open field on that one.
And it felt like, and again, I didn't watch the tape, Pete, but it felt like we were struggling covering the tight ends at the linebacker position.
Oh, man. They had most of the catches for the Titans.
Well, you know what that is? That's a classic case of a young, aggressive defense that you kind of get going with the flow and you come back the other way with the tight end. You know that.
No.
Hell, you guys lost the game to them once it's 30 years ago, and you lost the same exact way. That's what they do. They've always done that. But you're right. The linebackers cover. Lloyd gets lost. Even on, there was a play where he fell down. Like in coverage, he tripped. Do you remember that? And it might have even been on. It might have even been on the sack fumble. It might have been on that play, because if you play that play, I think he's dropping into his drop and he's actually tripping over his own feet. I mean, it's just bad things. Bad things happen at times, and that's a lot of youth at that linebacker spot, no matter which one's playing. And Muma played more, by the way.
Yeah, I think Muma's better right now, and I think Muma. If you're against the Chargers, I'd start Muma, because he's better in coverage. He's more sound. And you better be in coverage, because boy, they will slice and dice you if you're not careful.
And Eckler is dangerous as hell. I mean, in that passing game, he could do so many things. And I thought the two corners were outstanding the other night. Now, that's not exactly the greatest receiving group in the world, but they've been really. By the way, the two of them have been really good in the last month of the season together, both of them.
Well, I think Tyson Campbell has played for the most part really good this year, and the back half has been outstanding. He's playing better with his back to the ball. He's finding the ball. Remember early in the season and last year, he really struggled in man on those deep routes of turning. He'd be in the perfect position, but identifying and finding it. Boy, he is night and day. He is so much better at that.
And Darius Williams has been so much better since they put him outside.
Well, he's an outside corner, Pete. Someone on the show was saying that for weeks.
It's just amazing. And then the two safeties, Rayshon Jenkins just shows up and makes big plays. And Cisco's a much better player than he was in the early part of the season.
Yeah, they're improving.
That's the scary thing if you're playing them. And even if you're Kansas City or somebody, you see these guys. I keep saying this, but it reminds me of 96 a little bit. You can see it starting to get the confidence, and they're starting to, because this is only, for what they're going to be for the next decade, this is only scratching this, or at least for the next 5 years or whatever, this is only scratching the surface of what they can be. It really is. But you can see it. Young guys are starting to believe in themselves. And Tony, that's exactly what happened to your team.
100%. 100%.
And, look, if you win this week, you'd go play a team you're probably going to be a double-digit underdog to, or at least 9. It's not going to be 16, but it'd be 9. Same kind of scenario. But how many people have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl already? A lot. Got the MVP. I mean, that Broncos team was Terrell Davis was the MVP was he the MVP that year?
Nah, I don't think he was the first year. No, not 96. He was a rookie.
No, not that year.
That was his second year.
Yeah.
It was the third.
That's
next
right.
year
98, he was. 97, 98 he was. But, I mean, it's the same type of scenario. And it's just a bunch of young guys starting to believe in themselves. That's what it is.
If you're asking me who I think the favorite in the AFC to win the Super Bowl is,
Buffalo.
Is the Bengals.
You're all over the Bengals.
I'm Joe Burrow.
I worry about their offensive line a little bit, though.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I'm not saying that. I mean, I think Joe Burrow is outstanding.
But what about the quarterbacks in the AFC playoffs, by the way? I mean,
Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Lawrence.
And Lamar if he's playing.
We don't know if he's playing.
Right, but if he's playing, think about that. That's an MVP at the bottom with the 7, an emerging star, Herbert, who's been a star already, and then the rest of them have all elevated themselves to star. That's the elite of the elite in football right there. That's what that is. I mean, you go to the NFC. Hurts had a great year. Dak Prescott's not playing well. Tom Brady hasn't played well. Is at the end. Brock Purdy.
The best 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are in the AFC.
Wow, you're putting a certain somebody in that 5.
Yep.
Well, he won one of the best last week.
I didn't say last week.
But so you put Trevor Lawrence as the top 5 quarterback right now in the National Football League.
Yes.
So you'd put him ahead, you take him ahead of Hurts.
Yes.
You would. Wow.
There you go.
He's definitely one of the top 5 in the play.
Who would you take, Hurts or him?
Hurts or who?
Or Lawrence?
I would take Lawrence.
Okay. Then why are you looking at me like that?
But because my style is different, though. It doesn't mean he's played better. My style's different.
Josh Allen didn't play great yesterday.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Is he a top 5 quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Hey, look, you can make a case for Lawrence. I understand it.
Make a case. It's a fact. Tell me who.
He hasn't played. Trevor Lawrence has not played better than Jalen Hurts this year.
Pete, I'm just going to I'm going to ask you a very simple question. You answer the question.
Right.
Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, in some order, top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's go through the rest. Who are you taking, Lawrence or Hurts?
Me? I'm taking Lawrence because I don't
Who
like that.
Who are you taking, Brady or Lawrence?
But let me ask you this, though.
Just answer the question.
Lawrence for the future.
Lawrence or Purdy?
Oh, come on.
Lawrence or Lamar Jackson?
I don't like the style, so I take Lawrence.
Lawrence or Tua?
Lawrence.
Lawrence or Dak Prescott?
Lawrence.
Lawrence or Aaron Rodgers?
For the long term?
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Okay, so tell me who's ahead of him.
Lawrence hasn't played better than Jalen Hurts this year.
I didn't say that. I said he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks going in the playoffs.
Value-wise, he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Yes.
I'm saying if you're picking teams,
right,
and you're picking
I would. But if you're picking an MVP, he's not one of the top 5.
I'm not saying the MVP.
I'm just saying Jalen Hurts. You just discount Jalen Hurts. He's played better than him this year.
Let's come back. We've got plenty of time for this discussion ahead. We've got a whole other hour coming up as well. We'll come back in a moment. We'll take a look at some of the history of the Jaguars' playoff runs. Second hour, we'll have your social media questions, of course, and much more. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
What do you call a group of friends who wear the same jersey for good luck, no matter how old it is, and who support their team through thick and thin, week after week, as if the very season depended on it, while tossing the pigskin and drinking Miller Lite? You call it Miller Time in Jacksonville. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2022 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose from between a couple of response channels, from direct mail to landing pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty. Offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
At Five Star Credit Union, you inspire them to go the extra mile to meet your financial needs. That's why they offer Jaguars fans more banking options like better rates and no hidden fees. Their team is also dedicated to making the communities they serve stronger, volunteering their time and talents while donating millions to local nonprofits. Five Star Credit Union, FiveStarCU.org. Go Jags!
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right? That was exactly our season right there. There were ups, there were downs.
And now there's celebrations, right? And we had all three. We had all three during the course of the year. But you know what? My hat is off to every single one of you in this room. I'm proud of you guys for the way you handled this week. I am. And, listen, you're AFC South champs, baby.
There you have it, locker room celebration. Head coach Doug Peterson with the speech after a Jaguars win over the Tennessee Titans. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, and Tony Boselli. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. And if you're watching us on Jaguars.com, Jaguars social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, a live look outside at a beautiful afternoon overlooking the Miller Electric Center. It will open for business summer of 2023, just months away from the big move over to the new facility for the football teams. Indoor facility looking great. The outdoor grandstand with a cover on it will be ready for training camp, we're told, and should be fantastic for this team moving ahead. And country superstar Kenny Chesney comes back to Jacksonville April 14th. Tickets on sale now. Limited tickets available for the I Go Back tour with special guest Kelsey Ballerini. Daly's Place, the site, of course, dailysplace.com. All right, so the Jaguars have won their fourth division title in franchise history. Two of those in the AFC Central, 98 and 99, of course. Tony was a part of those. And then 2017, the AFC South title for the Jaguars. They've done it now for a second time in this division. This will be the 8th season the Jaguars have made the playoffs all time. And, they all obviously have ended short of the Super Bowl, 3 AFC Championship game appearances and losses, 2 of those, 96 and 99, and then the 2017 season as well. So, as you guys said earlier, it's just about getting in the tournament and, taking advantage of the situation in front of you. First primetime home playoff game in Jaguars history. They've had 4 other playoff games here at the bank. So take advantage of this, right, Pete?
Well, you know what, JP, when you look at the 3 times they've been in the championship game, the 2 times that they had the best chance to win, they weren't the best team that they had. In other words, the 99 team was much better than 96 and much better than 17. But 96 and 17 had real shots to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? I mean, they played New England in that one game. They should have won that game. In 96, they were the better team. Should have won that game. And then in 2017, was Miles Jack down? That's the question. They would have won that game. And then the best team was the 99 team, and that team got rocked in that game. I mean, they got dominated after the second quarter. So
no, it wasn't the second quarter. It was in the second half.
Third quarter. When after the safety. The safety.
Yeah. That's right.
After the fight in the locker room at halftime, and then the safety.
Pete's really too happy about that, Tony. Tony's not really laughing.
I actually, honestly, have no idea about it because I was up with my knee in a brace, tearing my ACL.
You have an idea about it. Don't fool you. You weren't there, but you know the story.
Not the specifics. I really don't. I don't really care.
Pete, what's the story for those who weren't around? What's your side of the story, Pete?
Reggie Barlow fumbled a punt. Coach Reggie Barlow, by the way, going into his college Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. Reggie Barlow fumbled a punt, and they came in at halftime, and Larry Smith, who was certifiably out of his mind at times, decided he was going to get into it with Barlow for fumbling, and next thing you know, you had the 2 units going at each other, and there was a little scuffle in the locker room at the halftime, and then they came out, and they had the safety, and then the kick return, the franchise wasn't ever the same. I mean, that's the bottom line. Once Derek Mason ripped the kick, you guys could, those shoes you kept from Atlanta, you could have put them away because you didn't need them anymore.
It wasn't a good situation.
No, and you were the better team. I'll take that to my grave. The Jacksonville Jaguars in 99 were the better team, and in fact, they would have won the whole thing. You would have beat the Rams. You had the number 1. People forget you had the number 1 defense. You had that offense. You were the better team.
Yeah, but we didn't get it done. So
no. Well, if Coughlin didn't have his players fighting at halftime, maybe they would have got it.
I always tell Brunell I said, listen, if I wouldn't have been hurt, we would have won.
He still would have thrown it into the stomach of the guy in the end, because that was when you had him. Remember, you went right down the field the second time, and Mark threw an end zone interception. Was it Marcus Robertson who picked it off? Yeah,
it would have been 14-0.
Yeah, game was over, and that turned the tide. And then you had the fumble punt at the end of the half.
Well, as Trevor Lawrence said last week, he was 3 months old when all that happened. So they're forging their own path now, Pete. They can't worry. Of course, the players don't worry about.
Well, that makes Tony 60 then.
Well, no, 50.
It makes me 70.
But that's the way they should view it. That has nothing to do. That's what I've always said. People are like, "Oh, it's the curse. It's this or that did this." I don't listen. I know people believe in that crap. I don't. And the only way that has any power is if you allow it. And I give Doug Peterson and this group credit. They don't buy any of that crap. They're doing their own thing.
No, but my thing about that is that you can get hot at the right time and become a legitimate threat to go to the Super Bowl, because you guys that 99 team was much better than 2017 and 1996, and those two teams had almost. But at the end of the fourth quarter, they had chances to win those games.
Yep.
The 99 team didn't. So that just shows you got to get hot at the right time. You got to get hot. You said it earlier in the show. Get a hot quarterback, get hot at the right time, and you can make a little run.
All right.
Well, what's been great about this run and what they've done, and I know we only have a couple of seconds.
Gotta hurry.
Is that this team, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, will go into next year as the favorite of the AFC and believe they're one of the best teams in the AFC.
All right, second hour coming up. More with Tony and Pete after this. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Thinking about your favorite whiskey or whiskey-based cocktail for this weekend's party or tailgate? Us too. While you're out shopping for supplies, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the 2022 Jaguars whiskey available at most local Jacksonville liquor stores. Not leaving the couch this weekend? No problem. You can also order a bottle online at citrusdistillersonline.com. Every bottle is made locally here in Duval.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
Hi, I'm Chef Justin Timnary, Florida's culinary ambassador. If you've enjoyed preparing fresh from Florida recipes, then you're going to love the Fresh from Florida Club. As a member, you'll be able to search and save delicious recipes, create custom menus, and ask me your cooking questions. Each month, you'll also get a list of what's in season, so you can make your family the freshest meals possible. It's free and easy to sign up. And best of all, you'll be supporting Florida's farmers, ranchers, and fishermen. Join the club at followfreshfromflorida.com today.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty. Offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor? could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Now that you're in the tournament, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? What matters now is just handling your business one day at a time. I said a week ago when we left Houston, just be you. Don't change. Be who you are. More than ever, that's what we have to do. We have to be us. Okay? We have to be us. Are there some things to clean up? Sure, there's things to clean up, but you know what? We're going to celebrate this one. Okay? We're going to celebrate this one.
That's the head coach, Doug Peterson, of course, in the locker room after a Jaguars win over the Tennessee Titans to secure the AFC South. And it's hour number 2 of Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, and Tony Boselli coming up. The Jags are the division champions after a 20-16 win in Week 18. And it took a strong defensive performance, only 3 points allowed in the second half. 2 second-half takeaways, including the Rayshon Jenkins sack fumble that Josh Allen returned 37 yards for the game-winning score with inside 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. It's the 4th division title in franchise history, 2 back in the AFC Central, now 2 in the AFC South, and the 8th season the Jaguars have made the playoffs. It will be only the 5th ever playoff game in Jacksonville. The Jags are 3-1 in the previous 4. It's an 8:15 kickoff time Saturday. Al Michaels, Tony Dungy on the call on NBC and Paramount Plus, and national radio coverage on Westwood One. And Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson spoke with the media today. How about getting set for the Chargers a second time this season?
Just from an X's and O's standpoint, and personnel standpoint, kind of how we attack them, how they attacked us, both sides of the ball and special teams. And then you kind of look at the whole body of work since, and if there's anything that's changed and why it changed. And, and then you put your game plan together, that way and according to that. And, this is a good football team. They got a great young quarterback as well. I know they'll be ready to go. They're looking forward to this opportunity just like we are.
The full Doug Peterson press conference from today available on Jaguars.com and Jaguars social media. Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli back with us now. Of course, the Jaguars blasted the Chargers back in Week 3, 38-10. That was out in L.A. That is so long ago now. The personnel's different. A lot of things have changed for both sides. So, as Doug said there, you take a peek at it and then take a look at what has changed. There's one guy on the show that guaranteed a Jaguars playoff run, and it was back on December 12th, and we have it for you right now.
So go ahead.
And
here we go.
The Jags are lost in the playoffs.
Oh my God.
He's done it. Oh my gosh, he's done it. That was back on December 12th, and it worked out. Way to go, Tony.
Yeah, before I gloat about nailing the playoffs, I want to make a couple comments from what Doug said. Just listening to his post-game remarks, and I've found myself thinking this several times this year. And I was fortunate enough to play for, which I believe is the Hall of Fame, ultimately will be in the Hall of Fame, coach Tom Coughlin, one of the great coaches ever to coach in the NFL.
Yes.
There's no debate about that, in my opinion. I would have loved to play for Doug Peterson. And I can see why the players love to play for him. This team wants to be here. They want to be on his team. I would have loved to play for Doug Peterson, of how he handles the team, how he handles situations. And I would have loved to be a left tackle in his system. It is a friendly offensive line system. They move the pocket. They play action pass. They're creative. They put pressure on the defense. They force them to they can't just pin their ears back all the time. I mean, you talk about a great system with a great head coach. And Phil Rauscher, the offensive line coach, who I know the most about because, coaches offensive line, will be known soon, in my opinion, as one of the better offensive line coaches, if he's not already known that. Probably inner circles know that, but the rest of the league's going to know that. one of the best offensive line coaches that I've seen. This would be a great place to play. And I say that just, it would be, as a player, I'd have loved it. It would have been great. I think it translates in the future. That will get around the league. Guys will know this is a place you want to be. You have a franchise quarterback. You have a great head coach with good coaches. You have an owner who spends money, who makes it player friendly. I'm telling you right now, this year has been huge. It's accomplished more than I ever thought it would. My goal this year was establish Trevor as the quarterback of the future and franchise, just erase everyone's doubts, because there was never a doubt in my mind. But after the year under Urban, people were squawking, and early in the season, people were squawking. So establish that, check that box. Play meaningful games in December. Well, they did more than that. They're going to the playoffs. Those are my two big things. Now add to what they've done. They've changed the culture. They changed the environment. They're starting to change how people look at Jacksonville. And they're going to create a place where free agents want to come. People are going to say, and you'll get veterans when they know they have 2 or 3 years left saying, you know what, I'll go play for a little bit less at Jacksonville because it's a great city. It's a great organization. They have a great coach. And they have a franchise quarterback. I have a chance to win a championship at Jacksonville. I believe that was all established this year. I really do. And we were closing out the last hour, and we had to go. This year is established, and I think the belief is in that building, in that locker room, regardless of what happens here on out, that they're going to be the best team in the AFC South next year, and they are going to believe that they should be winning the division and competing for a Super Bowl, because they'll feel like they're one of the best teams in the AFC. That's what happened in '96. When we left '96, we fell short of the Super Bowl. We came back in '97. It's we're going to win a division. We're going to go compete for the Super Bowl.
And not only that, Tony, Trevor Lawrence gives them sustainable success for the decade. Now you got to do it right, but they're going to be in the mix. You have that quarterback. You can be in the mix for a long time. You got to supplement them. You got to be good with the cap, and they have some cap issues right now. Let's not fool anybody. They have cap issues that they're going to have to deal with, but you can make the cap work any way you want to. And you have an owner who wants to spend money, or he can spend money. That makes it a lot easier to deal with the cap, because you can go cash over cap and kind of pay out those bonuses and kind of ease up the cap. So it's more than capable of being handled. But that quarterback does that to you. You look at the other teams in the AFC South. Look at the quarterback situation. One's going to have a rookie quarterback. One has uncertainty. The Titans, who knows who's playing quarterback for them? And look at the disaster that is the Indianapolis Colts quarterback situation. Jacksonville's the favorite. They should be. And not only that, they'll be the favorite in years going forward, because that's what Trevor Lawrence does to them. So I'm with you, Tony.
And I think it's more than just the quarterback, Pete. I think that's a huge part. I'm with you about sustainability. You have to have that. You and I agree 100%. I'm going to add the head coach. Having the right head coach is huge.
I agree.
And I'm not saying anything bad about Brandon Staley at all. But that organization is now on year 3 of having Justin Herbert, and they're just now making the playoffs for the first time. And it wasn't like they knocked it out of the park this year. And so
you are saying something bad about Brandon Staley.
No, he's a young coach.
I usually do. So I'll be honest about it. I do. I think he got last year. He was out of control with his going for it on 4th down. He makes some really strange decisions in games, and I thought why did he play everybody on Sunday?
Yeah, but I don't want to make it about Brandon Staley. My point is, I want to make it about Doug Peterson.
Yeah, that's your point. You're using two, one against the other.
Having the combination of Doug Peterson with Trevor Lawrence, with an owner that is committed and has the resources to make sure you have all the tools to win, that's what every franchise dreams about. That's what we've been asking for here in Jacksonville for years. We have it. It's here.
I didn't see you mention the general manager.
Well, I was talking because we were talking about
No, I mean, look, we've all been critical of Trent Baalke. Let's be honest about it. We have been. We've knocked him. He was the clown. They had clown faces of him last year. But let's be real. He made some pretty good signings this year. He made some ones that are suspect, and you got to question. We've questioned his draft picking of linebackers. But when you look at their offense, he brought in Evan Ingram. He brought in Zay Jones. He brought in Christian Kirk. For that, he should be applauded. He got ripped to shreds for all those. Remember? Well, they're not in the playoffs without those guys.
Not even close. And I said it on the broadcast at the end of the game, and I mentioned Trent Baalke. I think you're exactly right, Pete. I think you have to give Trent Baalke and the scouts credit because those three that you just mentioned, and I think the only one that was really criticized was the Christian Kirk because of how much they spent.
Zay Jones was a little bit too, Tony. The 1 year deal for Ingram wasn't, but Zay Jones was a little bit.
Okay, I don't remember that. I trust you. You pay attention to that more than I do. But Christian Kirk for sure. But those three guys are absolute studs, and they're not. To your point, they are not in the playoffs without those three. It just doesn't happen, and you do have to give Trent Baalke credit for that. I also think you give him credit for Aluakon. Because when they signed Aluakon, I wasn't against it, but I was shaking my head a little bit because I always worry about hiring the best player off the worst defense in the NFL because he makes tackles. Because someone has to make tackles, and when you're bad, sometimes that guy can do it. But Aluakon has been a very stabilizing force in that defense. And I'm not saying he's a superstar, like big play, like knock you out type of linebacker, but he is damn good. And he's a guy who is steady, makes plays, gets people lined up. He's consistent. He plays every single snap. And the dude is a tackling machine. I give Trent Baalke and his staff a ton of credit for that signing as well.
But Darius Williams now, too, if you look at it, where he's playing in the last 5-6 weeks, it was a bad signing for 10 weeks. It was a good signing for 7 weeks.
But here's the problem I have with that, Pete. I think you have to have plans for guys when you sign them. Like I'll go back to the Trayvon Walker. You signed him to be a stand-up outside linebacker, something he didn't do in college, and to be a pass rusher. He didn't do that in college. Now, I'm happy Trayvon Walker's on the team because he's disruptive as hell. And I think once you find the right position fit for him, he's going to be dominant. But you should have a plan when you bring someone in. And their plan was to bring Darius Williams in as a nickel, and that was the wrong plan.
It was a bad plan. It's
worked out, and he's played outstanding football outside. But when you brought him in, don't forget you had a high-priced free agent in Shaq. That's right. And Shaq Griffin outside playing your other starting quarter opposite Tyson Campbell. So I don't want to get into.
No, we can ping him. We can ping him for some things. There's no question. Yeah, we can ping him for drafting the 2 linebackers. I mean, that's never been a good plan. I will never get off of that one. You traded up to get Lloyd and you drafted another one. That made no sense to me.
And the third rounder is probably going to start in the playoffs over the first rounder that you traded up for. But I don't want to be negative because you got to give. If you're going to give him credit, you got to give him highlight the negative too. I'm going back to your point. We've done enough of the beating it up when they were struggling. Overall, if you look at the season, they won 9 games. They won the division, and guys that were brought in as free agents were key to that. And that is Trent Baalke's responsibility. And give Trent Baalke credit for doing a good job of picking and acquiring the right players that fit Doug Peterson's offense and what he wanted to do, signing Aluakon to bring some stability at the linebacker position, the middle linebacker, because we did not have a middle linebacker here for years that could do that. And you got to tip your hat to Trent for doing those 2 things.
Question. Knowing what you know now about Walker Little, was extending Cam Robinson a mistake?
Well, it's tough to say because he couldn't beat out the right tackle in training camp.
Well, and the right tackle has since gone on and had been the better tackle of the 2. Right. I mean, he's been the best tackle on the team.
But the way
there was a reason he couldn't have beat him out.
Well, but the way he played, I don't think he would have beat out Cam Robinson either. He was not better. He was not better than Cam Robinson
in the summer.
Or at any point.
Has he been better than Cam Robinson in the last 4 weeks of the season?
I don't think so.
No,
but I don't think there's been a fall off.
Not that big a difference. He's been as good in pass protection. I thought last week. I thought he was better last week. He was good on Sunday or Saturday.
And here's the big test. This week's the biggest test the young man's had.
You know what? You once had a big test like that in the big playoff game.
Yeah.
And you earned your stripes in that game.
And by the way, if I'm Walker Little, I would relish this opportunity. You'll probably be as nervous as hell I was when I had to go face Bruce Smith. And not, by the way, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are not Bruce Smith.
No, they're not.
But they're
Nick
really,
Bosa might be.
Huh?
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, yeah, Nick Bosa might be close to that. But Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are all, Pro Bowl level players, consistent Pro Bowl level players. It's a great test for both tackles, and I think it's a great opportunity for Walker Little to go say, "Hey, listen, I'm the starting tackle here."
Yeah, one quick thing, JP.
Yes.
I know you had Doug referencing the first time they met and how things have changed. Don't forget, Herbert had rib injury that day.
Yes, he did.
And he didn't have Mike Williams and he didn't have Keenan Allen in that game.
Both out. Yeah.
That's a big difference. But they did. I mean, think about this. Eckler only had what do you think? Eckler had 5 yards rushing and 8 catches for 48 yards in that game.
Right.
I mean, and then you think, okay, well, you had Bosa and in that game. You know what he had? He had one solo tackle.
He was hurt.
But he only played the first 2 series.
That's right. He got hurt.
He got hurt.
And then Mac had four solo tackles.
So, I thought Cam did a great job against Khalil Mack in that game.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're different teams. We get it. But I think this Jacksonville team, even though that team beat the daylights out of them, I think this team is a better version than that team was. They're better on defense now than they were.
I think we're much better than we were at that time, but I think so are the Chargers.
So are the Chargers.
All right. Yep. We'll come back in a moment. That'll get us to our Keeping It Real segment, and we will compare the weapons on the offensive side for the Chargers and the Jaguars. A little later, your social media questions. Oh, we're rolling tonight after a Jaguars division title. A win over the Titans. The AFC South champion Jaguars will host the Chargers in an AFC wildcard playoff game this Saturday. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build a home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Your pet means the world to you, so Pet Paradise created a slice of paradise just for them. Pet Paradise is your complete pet healthcare destination with resort-style day camp, overnight boarding, professional grooming, and compassionate veterinary care from New Day, all located under one roof. Pet Paradise has over 50 locations to serve pet fanatics like you nationwide. Book today at PetParadise.com. the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 5-Star Credit Union, you inspire them to go the extra mile to meet your financial needs. That's why they offer Jaguars fans more banking options like better rates and no hidden fees. Their team is also dedicated to making the communities they serve stronger, volunteering their time and talents while donating millions to local nonprofits. 5-Star Credit Union, 5starcu.org. Go Jags!
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick with Tony Boselli and Pete Prisco. The Jaguars and the Chargers coming up in the AFC wildcard playoff game Saturday, 8:15, TIAA Bank Field. Limited tickets available. Standing room only being sold even before Week 18. Another primetime game and another electric atmosphere on deck for the Jaguars at home this week. Time now for Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. Let's get into the matchup this week, guys. Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. This is a Pete Prisco kind of game if I've ever heard of one. So, who has the advantage with, first off, quarterback talent, the weapons around them, O-line, and play calling? Not necessarily in that order, but in general, Pete, who has the advantage in this one?
Play calling first. Because I'm an offensive genius, that's why. Play calling is slam dunk for Doug Peterson. It's not even close. I hate the Chargers offense. It drives me up a wall. What they do is they take a howitzer and they just make him pop gun it too much. So I hate their offense. I take Doug Peterson as a play caller. Offensive line, Jacksonville gets the edge with the offensive line. Running back, I'd probably go with Eckler because he can do so many different things. He's so valuable. Wide receivers, I'd go with the Chargers when they're healthy. But now Mike Williams isn't healthy. He's got a back issue. They said it was back spasms, but the way he went off that field, Tony, he couldn't. Have you ever had back spasms?
Yeah, well, I had back surgery, so yeah.
I know you had back surgery, but did you have back with spasm? Could you play the next week?
It was spasms. No, never when I played. But I've had a back spasm, and you can't. Like if it's bad, you can't move.
So for how long though?
Depends. If it's just muscular and you can get it to relax, it can be pretty quick. If it's something structural, it's a bigger issue.
Yeah, and so he got it, but I'd still give them the edge at wide receiver. Quarterback, boy, that's a tough. I think the experience, I'd probably lean to Herbert right now, but it's close. I think Tony's right. It's close. I'd probably take Herbert though, right now.
So I would say play calling, it's not even close, like Pete said. Offensive line, the Jaguars are better. Running back, I agree. I love ETN, but the out of the backfield capabilities that Eckler gives you he's one of the best receiving backs. I mean, he had 117 catches or something.
It's crazy.
I mean, he's fabulous. Tight end, I'll take Ingram at tight end. And at wide receiver, if Mike Williams is healthy, you got to go with the Chargers only because Keenan Allen's one of the best slot receivers in the game. But it's not.
Palmer's been really good this year too for them as a third.
It is, but it's not as big as distance.
No,
as you would have thought going into the season. Into the season, have been like, oh, no brainer, it's the Chargers. Right. You can make an argument that the combination of Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, and Christian Kirk, it's close. Like Kirk, I'll say this: Kirk and Keenan Allen in the slot. Not that big a difference. Kirk is quicker and faster. Keenan Allen might be a little bit better route runner and is bigger, but it's not that big a difference. And Zay Jones outside. Mike Williams is when he's healthy, just because of his size and what he can do with his length. You'd have to give him the edge, but it's not like it's like, oh gosh, like his third receiver, Marvin Jones and Palmer. Palmer's probably having the better year this year. But
you're right. It's not that much different.
And then at quarterback, I think it's a coin toss. I don't think you can. I'm just telling you.
I mean, I think Trevor's going to be a star, but I think Herbert's a little bit ahead of him right now. Just a little bit.
Okay.
But it'll be look. It's going to be fun, And by the way, we gave the edge for play calling to Doug Peterson. That's including the demerits for the one every game.
I'll say this right now. You can say it's edge to Herbert. If I was picking quarterbacks, I'm picking Lawrence before I pick Herbert.
Well, I mean, your P is teal. So, I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, come on. Look, I think they're both going to be great quarterbacks. I do. I just think right now Herbert's ahead of them.
I'll lock it. Let me give you a lock right now.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
How about time?
Trevor Lawrence will have more Lombardi trophies at the Jacksonville Jaguars than Herbert does wherever he plays.
Well, see, now that's not the argument, though, because Aaron Rodgers has one. He's not one of the great quarterbacks of all time. Dan Marino didn't win any. That's a bad argument. I thought you were going to lock him going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that wasn't quite the
one.
lock I was expecting, I must say.
We were waiting for aren't you locking him to go to the Super Bowl, Boselli?
No.
No? Can you lock him into the championship game?
No.
No. You see Kansas City sitting over there.
Can you lock him can you lock this week?
There might be a lock up about this week. We're going to wait till the last segment for the lock.
Oh, my.
Oh,
okay.
It might be, by the way, it might be double locked.
Wow. Whoa. A rare double lock.
It could be a double lock.
We're about 30 minutes away.
The double lock's undefeated.
We've
never lost a double lock, have we? No. This could be a double lock. They asked me earlier today. I was on the show, and I said, "Yeah, I'm probably going to pick Jacksonville." I did pick Jacksonville. I don't know if I want to lock it, but I think they'll win the game. But maybe later in the show we could fire up the old double lock.
I tell you what, don't turn that dial because we're about 30 minutes away from finding out if the rare, endangered double lock makes an appearance tonight on this happy hour program. That was Keeping It Real. And boy, we did keep it real. Presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. Fanatics fan questions coming up and a possible rare double lock. Just mere moments away. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey, Jags fans. Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Thinking about your favorite whiskey or whiskey-based cocktail for this weekend's party or tailgate? Us too. While you're out shopping for supplies, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the 2022 Jaguars whiskey available at most local Jacksonville liquor stores. Not leaving the couch this weekend? No problem. You can also order a bottle online at citrusdistillersonline.com. Every bottle is made locally here in Duval.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
It's the New Year bonus sale going on now at Renewal by Andersen. For a limited time, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off, plus save $25 off every window. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Offer expires January 31st. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com. Call now. License number CGC 1527613.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Dailies.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty. Offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. It is Monday. It is NFL playoff time. The Jaguars and the Chargers coming up in the AFC wildcard playoff game Saturday, 8:15 kickoff, NBC Television, Westwood One Radio, Jaguars Radio Network. It will be a packed house, and what an environment for the Jaguars, the division champions in the AFC South, at home against the LA Chargers, a team they beat back in Week 3 at SoFi Stadium in LA. And it's time now for the Fanatics fan questions. Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. Shop today and rep your Jags gear on game day and every day. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. Well, each Monday we put the cat signal out. Here's the best we've come up with today. Question number 1, at Sam McAlore. Seems like young teams often play tight their first time in the playoffs, and felt like our offense did just that in Saturday's playoff game. So do you think we'll be able to play a bit looser this week against LA?
I think we will be looser. The stakes are higher. Actually, they're not, because last week was like a playoff game. If you lose, you're not in. And so it had a playoff atmosphere for both teams. I don't know if I'm always careful to declare a team being tight. Only the guys really do that. They did not play well, but they were facing a good defense. And winning a championship is hard, especially when you're a young team. It's part of the process of you have to go through that situation, understand it, what it feels like, and everything else. So I do think that'll help them for the playoffs. I think it'll help them with against the Chargers. I think they come out. I think they're loose, and I think they have one of their best offensive performances of the year.
Tony, do you ever remember a game where you were tight, your team?
I was tight as hell going into Buffalo. Let me tell you that much.
Was it? Yeah, well, was the team tight though?
I don't know, but remember, Pete, that game we were down 2 possessions.
Yeah, it was bad until Clyde had that play. Yeah, it was bad.
I think we were down. It was like 13-0, then we kicked a field goal.
Right.
It was 13-3, and then Clyde got the pick, made it 13-10, and that changed everything.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I just because I often ask that because I wonder if you can think about games where you were tight. You might have been. I don't think you were tight. I think you said that before. You were nervous. Once you hit him, you weren't tight anymore. But sometimes you see guys play tight an entire game. It just keeps mounting on the pressure. I don't think. I think in '99, I think that team played tight after the second half. In the second half, that it started going against them, and they couldn't get out from underneath it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's being tight, but you feel the emotion and you start pressing.
That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's sort of
you feel the momentum change and you press and you do things you shouldn't do. And I
thought Jacksonville's offense pressed in the fourth quarter when they weren't doing anything. Didn't you?
Yeah. I honestly, Pete, I don't remember.
This year. This past week. Like when they went, like you could just feel the crowd kind of going, ugh, and you could see them starting to press a little bit more.
Yeah, I never understood, are you tight going into the game? I was nervous and anxious as hell every game I played. I don't care if I was playing some journeyman defensive end to Bruce Smith. I went in that game going, holy cow, I got 70 snaps of one-on-one football that I got to go execute. So I was always.
But there's a difference between being nervous and being tight, though.
I was always looking forward to the 2 or 3 naked calls. It was like take a cheap shot at somebody and take a free run at somebody. But yeah, so I mean, I think when people say you're tight, I think sometimes the moment becomes too much almost. And so it's that's being tight, but I also think you're emotional, you're anxious, you got and you start going faster than you need to, and you press and you try to do too much instead of I think the best teams, and the thing that I know it was a player I always tried to do and you felt good is trying to be relaxed, going into the moment and understanding that it's a long game and let it come to you and don't try to make stuff happen.
Well, that's why you said earlier, they're a young team. Go in there and you're playing with free money here. This is a free roll. Go play. It's not like they were favored to win the division. It's not like they were favored to go deep into the postseason. Whereas, certain teams, if you're Kansas City and things start going against you, you might start thinking about it a little bit. This team has to be able to just go play free and loose.
Well, I mean, we keep on comparing to the 96 team, but I remember in both games that we won, in Buffalo and Denver, sitting on the sidelines because we were down 2 quick touchdowns in both those games. And I remember the Denver game looking at Brunell, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. I'm like, we better do something here soon.
Well, yeah, remember you punting, and then Michael Dean Perry didn't get off the field. Otherwise, they get the ball back up 14 or 13. It was 13 because I missed the extra point.
Yeah. And so you kind of – you feel – and I was never felt like I was pressing. You just could feel it like we need to make a play, we need to get something going. And so there's those moments for sure. And there'll be those moments in this playoff game. The momentum will shift, and can you kind of overcome it, kind of fight through it and sustain the change where, what sideline momentum is on. And that's the key. But I remember in the AFC title game in 96 against the Patriots, you could, it felt like we never got in that rhythm. And part of it was because we didn't run the ball very well that game. And our success had been running the ball with Natron Means and play action pass and taking big shots, down the field. And against the Patriots, they had a good game plan. They rushed 3, spied Brunell all night, and played really good run defense. And we didn't win the line of scrimmage.
Let's move along. Next question off social media today. This is at Nick Pope Joy. Who is the most dangerous player on the Chargers team, and will we be able to stop that individual?
Well, I mean, the best player on offense, let's talk about each side of the ball. At least I will. The best player on offense is Justin Herbert. But the most dangerous weapon is Austin Eckler. You have to take Austin Eckler out of the game. And they did it the first time. They limited his impact because he's the guy who really puts you on edge because he's a good he's a good runner out of the backfield, obviously. He's a great running back. But he's outstanding in the passing game, and he is the one that Herbert will check it down to, work out of the backfield. They have a great screen game with them. They'll try to get him matched up against linebackers. And that's been a little bit of an issue for us. And so I think Austin Eckler on offense, and then defensively, it's the two ends. If Bosa's healthy, Bosa's the better player than Khalil Mack when healthy. And if Bosa's healthy and he gets it going, you better identify that guy and have a plan for him.
Yeah, I would agree. Spot on both of them. But remember, the last time they stopped Eckler, they didn't have those other receivers. Made it a lot easier. Easier.
Agree.
But yeah, Bosa, you have to. Bosa's much better right now in his career than Khalil Mack is, and he's the guy. He's the guy. Every team. That's why we always talk about these teams in the playoffs. Who has a game wrecker? Bosa's a game wrecker. He can be a game wrecker, so you got to control him. Does Jacksonville have a game wrecker? The way Josh Allen's playing, who knows?
The other guy you got to identify on defense, Pete, is Derwin James.
You know, though, Tony, I'm going to say something. I think he's really good in a lot of areas. I think you can get him if you get him in the passing game, you can beat him.
I don't disagree, but he's a great blitzer.
Yep.
He can rush the pass. He's actually a good just pass rusher.
Yep.
He's outstanding
in the run game.
But he's a really good player.
Yep.
Next question, social media, a buzz, of course, after the Jaguars win. Noah Damro asking, is the Jags team built well enough to make a Super Bowl run?
Yes. If you're in the tournament, you're good enough to make a Super Bowl run. That's been proven year in and year out. Nobody thought the Bengals were going to come out of the AFC. it was the Bills, Chiefs. One of those two teams are going to be in the Super Bowl. And the Bengals won 3 games, 2 on the road, and ended up in the Super Bowl. The year before, the Buccaneers were a wild card team. Had gotten blown out by the Saints both times, went in on opening wild card weekend and beat the Saints, and then went on their run.
Okay, I get your point, but one had Tom Brady, and the other one, think about who they had to beat. Okay, we'll give you. It'd be the Titans team that was limited offensively and didn't have, they didn't have much.
The Titans were the number 1 seed, Pete.
I get it, but they weren't very. Did you think they were a number 1 seed? We've seen the Titans be a number 1 seed in the past and get beat in the first round too. Baltimore beat them one year.
I thought, because remember they were getting Derrick Henry back, and I said if Derrick Henry is who Derrick Henry was the first 9 games of that year when he was rushing for like 200 yards a game, it felt like. I thought they were a tough out because they were playing good defense as well, and I didn't think the Bengals could protect the pass.
Okay, first game they beat the Raiders, who weren't very good. Remember, they beat the Raiders, then they beat the Titans, and then they did upset the Chiefs. So you got to give them credit for that. They beat the Chiefs. So Jacksonville to go on a run would have to beat. The problem is the second round game is much tougher. You got to admit, whoever you play in the second round, it's much tougher than going to play the Titans a year ago.
I'd agree with that, but. You disagree with me? The fact that
anything can happen in the postseason. It's like in hockey. If you got a hot goal, you can go to the Stanley Cup and win it. Yep. So no, if your quarterback, like you said, if your quarterback's hot, you have a chance to win it.
I didn't know.
And so yes, they're built to do that because I think they have a franchise quarterback who can get hot and take over a game.
And if Josh Allen continues to be what he's been the last couple of weeks, then yes, they have a guy who can wreck a game.
I didn't know we would have hockey talk tonight. Next question on social media from Twitter today at HardyBro35. Are the Jaguars linebackers in coverage a big concern coming into this playoff game against the Chargers?
Yes.
Big time. And Tony, you mentioned the screen game too. That's a big part of what the Chargers do. They're great at it. So yeah, it's a big concern.
Yeah, that's why I think Mumu will start. I think Mumu will get most of the reps at linebacker because I don't think I wonder the confidence level of the coaching staff to put Devin Lloyd out there and to be responsible for zone drops, man coverage, getting lined up, and getting matched up with Eckler or one of their tight ends.
It's funny because Muma gets to the plays faster, but he's not faster. It's amazing.
Because he identifies it better.
Yeah.
Next question, a few more left from Twitter today at BritJag. Is Prisco CBS getting withdrawal symptoms from being in January and not discussing the draft yet?
It is weird. It's weird. This is the first, since 2017, this is the first time we haven't done that. It's strange.
We probably won't talk, hopefully we won't talk about it at all until after the Super Bowl. The last show we can have a draft segment where what they need to do in the upcoming draft, but until then, no draft talk.
We could talk about cap. Then we could talk about who they should cut. We'll fix the team for Balky. We moved Williams outside for him. I mean, think about it. What else does he want us to do?
And told him to play Trayvon with his hand to the ground more.
Yep.
Right. See, that's what happens. But hey, that'll be coming after the Jaguars pick 32nd.
Now, if we can only get him to stop running his stupid plays.
Next question, social media at ELGHS2001. With the team continuing to surge in the win column, is it concerning that Lawrence's individual numbers are beginning to regress going into the postseason?
No. Not for me, not at all.
No, the numbers don't matter. He just didn't play that well the other day. Forget about the numbers.
Remember, go back to the Jets game. It was terrible weather. He was never going to put up big numbers, and they have a really good defense. They ran a game plan that was conservative, trust the defense. They knew they didn't have a quarterback, and let's go get a win. And
the Texans game doesn't count.
Texans game, they were up. I mean, it's like once you get up against that team, it's like let's just not make stupid mistakes.
The answer to that question is no, but he did not play well last week.
Okay,
I agree.
One more question, last one. Social media at Robert Johns. With the Chargers playing their starters for the majority of the game, does that give the Jags an advantage with more or recent tape to watch?
Not for that reason. The advantage it gives them for some reason when the game did not matter at all for the Chargers. 0. He's playing all his starters, and it came back to bite him because Mike Williams got hurt. And if he's
Bosa got dinged too. Bosa got dinged in the game too.
And so if those guys are not 100%, that impacts the Chargers' ability to have a full strength squad out there.
He had Herbert into the second half. I have no idea what he was doing. It made no sense to me. And not only that, a lot of those guys played most of the game. So if you play most of the game, now you got to travel on a short week to go play a team that gets an extra day of rest.
Yeah, if I was head coach, as soon as I knew that the game did not matter, I'm playing as many backups as I can and making it a bye week.
Of course. Here's a guy who doesn't play. Staley doesn't play anybody in the preseason in any of the games, and all of a sudden he's playing him in a preseason game in Week 18. It just is mystifying.
And they would have known relatively early because the Bengals had control of that game, right? It was the Ravens' loss that put them in.
They knew. They knew when the ball kicked off. Remember, They didn't kick off until 4:25. They knew.
Right. But my point is that they had a sizable lead in that game, and it wasn't really in danger of the Ravens coming back.
It was a bad.
The coaching staff, you have a plan. Plan A, we have to win. This is how we're going to go approach it. Plan B, Bengals win, Ravens lose. Game doesn't matter. This is how we're going to play.
It was a bad decision by the coaching staff. And if they get beat on Saturday night, then there's going to be a lot of questions about particularly if Mike Williams isn't in the lineup.
There you have it, the Fanatics fan questions. Thanks for all the submissions today. It's been a fun day or two on Jaguars social media, of course, after a division title. We're back in a moment. Shad Khan in the locker room. After the game, we'll hear from the Jaguars owner coming up, and the NFL Super Wildcard Weekend schedule. We'll go through all the games coming up. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
It's football season, and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 45 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty. Offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
What do you got for us? What do you got for us? Speech? I'm speechless, okay? That's good. But I'm so frickin' proud of all of you. Okay? It's been hard work, battering. Obviously, Doug, the staff, Trent, the staff. Everyone believed in everyone. Oh man, I just can't describe this moment. I'm going to seal it up and live with it the rest of my life.
There's the Jaguars owner, Shad Khan, in the locker room getting a game ball after the Jaguars win an AFC South title. Welcome back, Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. Doug Peterson gave Shad and Tony Khan game balls after the victory, and that's fun to hear. That is a happy owner, his second division title.
Hey, JP, I got to ask you, did anybody ask him if he was really sleeping during the game? Did you see that shot they had of him?
I did.
I mean, it was unfair. He wasn't sleeping, but they put the camera on him, and it made it look like Shad was sleeping during the game.
Yeah, I have no doubt he was wide awake throughout that ball game.
Did you guys see the shot? You know what I'm talking about, though? They put him on the camera, and it looked like it. Yeah. By the way, one quick thing I got to clear up. I went back and looked at the box score. Mike Williams did play in that game in the first time.
Yeah, he played. I knew that.
Yeah, he was dinged up though. Remember, there was some question about whether he would play that weekend. He did. So yeah, he missed time during the season though, a couple different games.
Let's take a look at the NFL Super Wildcard Weekend schedule. A full slate of games: 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. Let's go through these one by one, guys. Let's start with the NFC wildcard playoff game. The Seattle Seahawks backdoor their way into the playoffs, the 7 seed against the San Francisco 49ers. A lot of folks' favorite to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. Pete, who do you like in that one?
Oh, I think the Niners beat them up. They beat them up already this year twice. I think they beat them up again. And look, Seattle got in. It's a heck of a story for Pete Carroll, heck of a story for Geno Smith, but I think it ends there.
All right. Tony, what do you think on that one?
I agree 100% with Pete. I think it's a fabulous story, but I think it's going to be over.
All right. We'll get to the Jaguars game coming up in just a few moments here at the end of the show. We could have a rare double lock. We'll see. Just moments away from finding out if that's the case. Let's go to Sunday, 1 o'clock, 7-seed Miami Dolphins, 2-seed Buffalo Bills in the AFC. Who you got? It's in Orchard Park.
I'm going with Buffalo. I think Buffalo gives them a beating again. I don't care if Tua even plays. I don't think he will, but even if he did, I think Buffalo beats him.
Yeah, I think this is a runaway. I think Miami might keep it close for a little bit because I think they'll have some creative running game. Mike McDaniel does a great job with that. That's been a little bit of the Buffalo's Achilles heel, but they've gotten better against the run lately, Pete, I think.
Yeah, and he got away from it the last time they played, remember? They averaged 7 yards per carry against them last time and then had 3 third and shorts in the second half and didn't run the ball.
Yeah, I think Buffalo wins by 10.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, Giants, Vikings, 6-3 in the NFC. Pete?
That's a team that's hosting with 12 wins and a negative point differential in Minnesota. I think the Giants should have won the game the last time they went there. They had a drop in the middle of the field that would have kind of put them in a position to win the game. I'm going to take the Giants. I think Dable's done a great job with that team. I think they go in there and win that game.
I hate to agree with Pete, but I think the Giants win. I think they're the more physical team, and I think they'll out-physical Minnesota. And things get tight in the playoffs. All the pretty stuff doesn't always work, and I think the Giants are kind of that physical, gritty team.
All right, Sunday night, 8:15, the Ravens and the Bengals, 6-3 division rivals.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if Lamar Jackson plays or not. He's still going to be limited in what he can do, and an injured Lamar Jackson's not the kind of quarterback that you want to see playing. So I think Joe Burrow and that offense is cranked up in the high gear, and their defense is starting to make a lot of plays, and so I think they win that game easily too.
Yeah, I like the Bengals. I think the Bengals are, again, that's a 10-point plus victory for them. I think it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be physical. It's a division matchup, much like the Dolphins and Bills, but I think the Bengals are just a better team. They have a better quarterback. The defense is playing good. I think they get after them pretty well.
And then the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. Dak Prescott throwing 7 million interceptions, and Tom Brady is, 45 years old. Who you got in that one?
I'm taking the Cowboys. Everybody's going to be on the Bucs. It's just, and you know what? Then the line comes out, and the Cowboys are favored. They're the better team. And one thing about Tom Brady, he's been great in the postseason, but when he's not great in the postseason, was people start hitting him. And remember all the games he lost, he was getting hit and inside pressure. I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think that game on Sunday was just one of those games where they knew the Eagles would win against a Giants team that wasn't playing anybody and didn't play very well.
I think the Giants. I think the Cowboys get tight. I think the Cowboys get in that game. They've had win 12 games. The Bucks, beat up. The offensive line's a little bit patchwork. Is Tristan Wirfs back for this game?
Yes. Yeah, he's back.
And
the problem is their second string center is hurt now. So if Ryan Jensen can't come back and play, they're going to be down to number 3, it looks like.
I'm betting on Tom Brady. I think the Bucks win a close game.
Everybody's been saying it all year. Here comes Tom Brady. This is the week. It hadn't happened yet.
I'm not sold. It's less about Tom Brady, Pete. I'm not sold on the Cowboys.
I think their defense will get after it.
All right, and now the AFC wildcard playoff game here at TIAA Bank Field, an 8:15 kickoff time Saturday under the lights. What a scene it should be. The Los Angeles Chargers, they finished the regular season 10-7. They are a wild card team in the AFC, the 5 seed, against the AFC South champion Jacksonville Jaguars at 9-8, the number 4 seed. Do we have the rare double lock? Pete, let's start with you. Are you going there?
I am locking it. First 1-30 win. This is going to be a classic shootout that we all love in the NFL, particularly in the playoffs. 33-30 Jacksonville. Lock it.
It is locked by Pete. Tony Boselli, do you match him?
I think this is a game. I agree with Pete. It's a shootout. It's going to be what defense can get a big turnover late or a big stop. Steal a possession or 2 during this game. It's going to come down. I don't think either defense has an answer for the other, but I think it's the defense who can make the big play. This Jaguar defense has been opportunistic all year. Big plays when it mattered. I think they win the game. I think it's late. I think it's close. I got 38-35 Jags.
Wow.
It's a lock then for Tony Boselli.
Double lock.
A double lock. It is rare, nearly extinct, but boy, they pulled it out for the playoffs.
It's undefeated. It's 1-0.
It is undefeated.
Boy, that's a rare bird.
You know what? This is everything and anything you want in a playoff game with these two quarterbacks who can throw the football all over the place. I can't wait to watch it. I really can't. By the way, I heard it's going to be a little chilly on Saturday night.
In the 30s, I heard.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Early. I mean, obviously things can change, but a cold front's coming across the country, and
let's just hope there's no wind. Please, no wind.
It's weather, Pete. What do you want?
Wind ruins football.
I'll say this though: if it is windy, it favors Jacksonville because that Chargers run defense is atrocious.
It is bad. It's a bad run defense, and look, Jacksonville's got to run the ball. That's one thing, Tony, about last week we didn't really talk about. They couldn't run the ball, so those boots were kind of negated.
That's right. No, I think it was a huge part of the game. It was harder to move the pocket because of the lack of run game. And I think that's going to be important, and I think it'll open up more of the offense. So I think it's going to be a great game. I'm with Pete. I think it's exciting. I think the Jaguars will win. I think the place is going to be rocking. It'll be another great environment, and it's going to be fun playoff football.
We locked it. It's a known thing now. The only unknown is what quarter comes to play. What quarter will the play come in? Will it be the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter? It's coming. What quarter does the play come in?
Speaking of locks, I made a lock at the beginning of the season that the Jaguars would sweep the Titans.
Yes, you did.
That you mocked me.
Yes, I did.
And you said there's no chance it's going to happen.
Well, who knew they would be a broken down version of themselves? Come on, Boselli. They almost got beat by Josh Dobbs Saturday night. Stop it.
Doesn't matter. I locked it. It came through. The lock, I'll tell you this, after a bad 2021 in locks, I was bad. I'm not going to lie. The locks I might be undefeated this year. There might be one loss.
You had a loss earlier in the year.
The winning percentage is high.
You had much better locks going this year, but
I think I had one. I think when I locked that the Kansas City game reflects the Sunday night, that didn't really happen.
Look, people put this on the internet and they put it on Twitter and everything. That's the only reason you locked it, is because it makes you look good.
Well,
if you were wrong, nobody would remember.
Pete just did it too. It's a double lock. Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. I'm J.P. Shadrick. It's Jaguars Happy Hour.